Hello and welcome to my channel. 4 months ago, I did this cutout of the eagle and feathers, and it's a welcome sign, and I never did the letters. The problems I ran into was there was a lot of breakage on the backside. I was fighting the blades. It was just a nightmare. Being 4 months ago, I get it. I went to contact paper, put that on the back, and I was able to struggle through the rest of the project as far as the eagle and the feathers go. But the welcome part of this sign and the backboard, I just went ahead and set everything aside and walked away from it. I really had no choice at that time because I was too frustrated and still too new. And as many of you know, I have avoided doing letters since then, and I have just recently started doing so. So when I got these new crown tooth blades, I've been kicking around this piece of wood for a very long time. I came across it again. I said, you know what? It's time to finish this project. It's time to get it cut and put together like it was supposed to be. The letter W was kind of my introduction to using this blade again. But by the time I got to this part, I definitely got the swing of things, and it cut very, very well. Now, my goal was to have these letters available to me after I cut them out so that I could use them for a different project. You'd think I wouldn't be able to because of the holes that I drilled in there, but for a project that I'm going to paint, I can fill in those holes, put some paint on it, and you'll never see them. I'll be showing you all the letters that I cut out towards the end of the video, but for now, this was becoming a very, very pleasurable cut. I was getting more and more confident, which, that was something I lacked over the last several months. But again, I can't stress enough how different blades will do well with different types of projects. I know there are many people out there that are a one blade only cutter and they can make it work for anything. I am not. And I don't expect to be that person anytime soon. For me, I have to work harder to make a single blade do all the different things and the different types of patterns. It's not worth it to me to work harder instead of smarter. The blades are available for different reasons, and why not utilize them? And alongside the blades, the type of wood that you use is also quite important. The wood that I purchased 4 months ago was not the best quality wood I could have bought. And a lot of that is because of cost. I needed to keep costs down, but I also wanted to continue on with the hobby. So some of the reasons why I had all that breakage on the backside was because it was garbage wood. It was dry and it was brittle. And yes, even with the contact paper on the back, that might not have happened. But I did notice when I did take the contact paper off the back 4 months ago, there were several other places where those layers of plywood came off. So, there was nothing I could do about it. So since then, I have been using a better quality wood, but also better blades. The expense is not that great of a difference between the cheaper wood and the better plywood. So I was actually biting myself in the butt by going a few dollars cheaper. But, again, those are things that I'm learning. Those are things that I had to do at the time to keep my hobby going. While this can and is a very expensive hobby to have, there are ways of doing it more cost effectively and still put out a decent product. What I never expected, though, was that people would actually be interested in purchasing some of the things that I've created. That has been a huge help in me being able to purchase new blades, better wood, and building my confidence that my work is decent enough that people would actually want it. I do consider this strictly a hobby. I'm not in business to make and sell. but I am always open to selling my completed projects if someone's interested. It only took me about 20 minutes to cut out these letters, which I was impressed. I had 0 issues for every single one, other than struggling at the beginning with the W, but it worked out fine. But my only concern was using this blade for the outside perimeter. I've had some not so good experiences trying to maintain a straight line, but once again, I could have changed the blade, but I wanted to stick with this crown tooth to see what I could do with it to cutting out the outside perimeter of this welcome piece. And because of this cutout, this most recent cutout, which this is it, I am going to continue to do more patterns that have letters in them. These boxy type letters were the ones that really scared me the most, but as you can see, all the letters came out nicely, and once I fill in the holes and paint it, it's going to look beautiful for another project piece. Now, doing the outside of this welcome sign, what I needed to do, which I know this, but I don't always apply it, is to keep one finger on the table holding the piece to really give me a little bit of drag so that I don't try to push through too quickly. This blade cuts quite fast on 1/4-inch plywood, so because I dragged it a little bit, it kept me on point, on the line, and I was extremely happy with how straight the lines were. The curves, well, that was another little bit of a challenge, but they worked out well. I didn't go offline very much, and it still looked good when I was done with little or no fixing afterwards. But there's all these little nuances and little techniques that you learn as you go. Even if somebody tells you, you don't always get it until you try it and apply it. So when I got done with this, I was just elated. That's all I can say. I was pretty much elated that the sign itself came out beautifully, and I still had the letters that I could use for something else. While I didn't do an after the cut video, I am sharing with you, this is what it looked like when I was done with the letters. I used a walnut finish, and I also walnut finished behind the letters so they stood out more. I was quite happy with how this looks, and hey, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. God bless, and take care.